What up, slut? Today, I had a social interaction. I live in an apartment, and if you live in an apartment, you've ever lived in an apartment, you know how strange it is to have neighbors. You have people in your floors, you have people around you, there's people in your walls, and you can hear them, and they're doing things, and you wonder, what the hell are they doing over there? And so you think, and you think to yourself, and you're trying to imagine, and you're like, oh my gosh, someone has an argument, you're thinking to yourself, you're like, what the hell could possibly be happening? You're concocting plot lines in your head, narratives, characters, and you start thinking of all these horrible things, and you're like, oh my fucking god, nobody, everybody here is just, all these crazy things are happening around me, and I'm the, I'm just trying to survive, you know what I mean? But the thing is, I talked to my neighbors today. I talked to my downstairs neighbors and then the people who live across from my downstairs neighbors. And I'm the type of person who, like, when I go to my house and there's one of my neighbors outside, I don't know what to do because my mom has always taught me to, like, be very distrustful of neighbors or anything. Like, she was always like, they will do anything they can to evict you. Granted, my mommy would like to do a lot of horrible things and honestly she probably should have been evicted a lot, so she kind of conditioned me to believe that all of the neighbors, so I wouldn't talk to them, that all the neighbors were out to get me and that were like actually secretly evil or some bullshit like that. And I guess I carried that with me. I've been living not on my own but with my partner in our apartment for like going on 3 years now. And I've had a lot of problems with this apartment. I'll just say the big one. When we moved in, we had bed bugs. But I was so desperate. It wasn't my fault, and they got it, cleaned up or whatever. But we had fucking bed bugs, like, live and painted over bed bugs in our walls. And I just kind of toughed it out. And I was just like, damn. Which, it's fine now, but that should have never fucking happened. And I just kind of always think to myself, like, damn, my apartment, I just got so unlucky, bro. Like, my apartment sucks, And I never really thought about if my neighbors had the same problem as I did. So when I was walking, one of my neighbors, the across one from my downstairs neighbors, asked me if I had a spider problem, which I don't, but I've had an ant problem. It sparked this whole long conversation, which eventually my downstairs neighbor jumped into, and we all started talking about the common problems in our apartment. And let me tell you, there's a lot. And you know what I realized? My apartment, as horrible as it was, is more functional than both of theirs. Like, I'm talking, like, fucked up shit. Like, I've never really had many, okay, no, I've had problems. And it's not really about how shitty my apartment is, even though my fucking landlord sucks, and as a lot of fucking landlords do. Anyway, but the point is that I talk to my neighbors. And I'm always the type of person who, like, stares at the ground whenever I'm, like, walking past people, especially my neighbors, because they're, like, so close but, like, so far at the same time. And so, like, I would always just have my eyes pointed at the ground, and I would be like I would just look up, and if they were looking at me, I'd go, like, give a polite smile, and I look at the ground, and if someone said hi to me, I'd be like, hi, and then, like, I'd probably look like a freaking, like, anxious mess, but I just always believed that they were out to get me, which is absolutely crazy. Thanks, Mom. But, so I always came off, like, dickish, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really know, but I noticed my downstairs neighbors started, like, making comments about it and, like, being kind of rude. And, like, saying things like, don't talk to them, they don't talk to us. I didn't mean to come off like that, and I started thinking to myself, like, like, how is this behavior coming off to other people? You know what I mean? So, when I eventually talked to my neighbors, I talked to them for, like, an hour, and do you know what I realized? we share a lot of the same problems. Like, we were a lot similar, and we all like got along really well, and it was completely fine. Like, it was actually just chill talking to him. Like, we all had something to talk about, something to complain about, you know, something we had a lot to relate about because we lived in the same place. You know what I mean? There was a lot. We've been around each other for years, you know what I mean? But we never really sat down and talked. I don't even know if they know my name. I don't think they even know my name. You know what I mean? Oh, that's my bad. I probably should have introduced myself. But I'm trying to take steps forward to like uncondition myself from being so fearful of human interaction. Believe it or not. And it really made me realize how important it is to talk to people. Not just friends, not just family, but people. People in your vicinity, I guess. I don't really know what else to call it. People that are around you, your neighbors, you know, the people in your town. Like, how many times do you go somewhere and you see like somebody like at like a store, and you know, you go to shop at this store a lot. Oh my god, I look so fucking short because of this camera. Anyway, how many times do you go to the store and see the same person, like the same like cashier? Do you ever like say anything to them? They say hi. Well, I guess in that situation, like they're kind of like, you kind of have to move quicker. So maybe that's not exactly what it meant, but like just the people around you. You know what I mean? Like your neighbors. Neighborly things are not a thing anymore. Like my grandma was bitching about it the other day that she got new neighbors next to her, and it was like a younger couple, and they didn't come over and introduce themselves. And I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, you know, that would be really nice if someone did that to me, but I would never do that. You know what I mean? Like, me personally, I would never do that. You know why? Because I'd be afraid that they were gonna get mad at me or some shit. Like, why the fuck would anyone get mad at you for coming to their house with a damn pie, brother? You know what I mean? Or fucking basket of cherries. And just saying your name and like being like, hello. Um, it was really crazy. And I decided like some days ago, like some weeks ago, that I was gonna be more friendly and I was gonna try to conquer this fear of people. So I've been trying to talk to people more often. I've been trying to keep my head up and making eye contact, because at the end of the day, the people around you are the most important thing, and not like having open communication with other people, forging social connection is so important. I feel like afraid of people because like I'm always like scared I'm gonna meet the redditor who says like crazy shit, you know, online. You know what I mean? Like, I'm afraid of meeting the am I that asshole person in real life. You know what I mean? Like the person who does the fucking heinous shit and doesn't think that anything's wrong, you know? But I think I also need to realize that that is such a tiny portion of people, if that was even real at all. Some, like, you don't even know if that shit's true. Like, people could just be rage baiting, you know what I mean? But when that's all you see is those fucking rage baiters and like people that are doing heinous things and like, you know, saying heinous things, and you walk and you're in public and you're like, how many people out here are like fucked up like that, you know? Like, at least that's what I think. So I've been trying to like rewind it back, which is why I was gonna say something. That's why I wanted to say something about it. Oh, please go out and like talk to people, be friendly, keep your head up, darling. Like, people would be happy to know you, you know what I mean? Like, there is not a person like who is gonna like be angry that you're talking to them or tell you to shut up and go away. And if you ever meet a person that is like that, one, they're miserable, and two, you don't deserve to be treated like that. You know what I mean? That's a them problem. That has nothing to do with you, honey. Because if you open yourself up to others, people will open themselves up to you, and that only brings opportunities. Opportunities for growth, opportunities for the word that's popping into my mind is success, but like I don't know why I'm thinking of networking, like business networking. But sure, like people can forge connections. Like that is the most important thing in life is connections to others. And it's so isolating. Like our technological world is so isolating. And I've gotten rid of my Instagram. I've gotten rid of all social media besides YouTube, even though the only thing I ever really used was Instagram. I don't use it anymore because of how like much time in my life it was taking up, how afraid it made me of other people, like how much anxiety. And I know that sounds crazy, and I was the type of person to sit and scroll on reels for hours. Like I had the freaking 5 hour screen time, the fucking 8 hour screen time. I was one of those people. And I realized I don't want to be that person anymore. Like I'm just anxious all the time. And girl, let me tell you, if you are the type of person, if you're a person who like is using a lot of short form content, like just if you can, because what got me off of it is just taking a break for a week. I was just like, I'm just gonna give it a week. You know what I mean? And I didn't even like I didn't deactivate the account. I just deleted the app from my phone and I really gave it a shot. I was like, I'm not gonna do this for 1 week. And I never downloaded it again. I never used it. Okay, well, I never like used it. I never like got back on it. It's been months. It's been like 6 months. And it made me realize like how much time I was losing and how much fear I was like brewing in my heart, because that's what gets clicks and views, you know? And that's really sad. Why? Like, I understand why, but like, I don't like that because it takes more. Is it more effort? I don't know. It does take more effort. It takes a lot more effort and stuff to talk to people, to talk to strangers, than it does to, scroll on Instagram Reels. You know what I mean? It does. It takes courage, but the thing is you can do it. If I did it, trust me, you can do it. And this wasn't even the video that I was gonna make today. I was actually gonna make a video about how there's nothing magical about magic mushrooms and how they actually like fucked up my life, or fucked up like 2-3 years of my life. But we'll talk about that in the next one maybe. But I don't know, I don't even know if I got my point across, but please go, like, be kind, and talk to people, and like, only good things will come to you if you just like open yourself up to the world. And I sound like I made a whole fucking realization after talking to two people, but honestly, it meant a lot to me because I was so afraid. I was so afraid of how other people thought of me. And I told my neighbor, I was like, I'm really sorry about how I've been coming off potentially these last couple years. Like, I was always taught to be afraid of like my neighbors, and I really hope if I came off weird to you, that like I'm really trying to change. And she said, I didn't think you were weird. I thought you were sad. And that's been stirring around my head for a little bit. And I told her, I was like, I was sad. I was sad because I was afraid. And I didn't want to be afraid. Nobody wants to be like fearful, you know what I mean? Especially people who live so close to you, who live right under your feet or in your wall. In your wall. But that's why it's so important. Make the strangers around you not strangers anymore. Know their names, know their faces, know who they are, what they're about, know their life, you know? I mean, you don't have to be their best friend or anything, but a conversation now and then will just do wonders for you. And if you can just do one thing and talk to one person, when somebody asks you and they're like, maybe your neighbor, you're like, hey, how's it going? give them a little more than it's like, oh, it's good, thanks. You know, give them a little bit more than that. Give them a little, I don't know. The word that popped in my mind was taste, but I don't really like that word. Give them a little something to work off of. You know what I mean? And if they don't, if they don't reciprocate the energy, then you can always reel it back. You know, it's cool to try. But if somebody ever, at least I'm saying this because I do want more people connections, and if people would open themselves up to me, I'd be more than happy to, reciprocate. It's just sometimes you have to be the initiator, which is the scary part. Because your hunched over position and your like fear of eye contact just gives off that you don't want to be talked to, even when you do, even when you really do. So talk to people. It will help you a lot. Please. Like, all I want is for people to be happier and kinder and more understanding. And the first step that we need to take is by talking to one another and understanding each other and who we are. And the way that begins is just a simple hello. And then it just goes from there. It blossoms, darling, okay? Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!